Death in Paradise returned to BBC One with Neville Parker, played by Ralph Little, still in prison after he was arrested. He was suspected of murdering David Cartwright, Patrick Kennedy, and the team were desperate to prove his innocence. A teaser for the season finale suggests Neville will leave after the heartbreaking twist. The new episode started with Karen Flitcroft, J.A. Griffiths, from the Department of Policing Standards coming to St. Marie to find out more about Neville's arrest. After assessing the CCTV and the crime scene, Karen was convinced Neville was guilty. Although his colleagues thought he was innocent, the evidence suggested otherwise, and so Neville remained in his cell. When Karen interviewed Neville to find out what he had been doing in Cartwright's room, he mentioned a possible motive as to why someone would frame him. He recalled how his home was broken into a week before with no idea who did it. The team needed to find another suspect if they wanted to prove his innocence, and they had 48 hours to do it before Neville was charged with murder. Naomi found a match for the fingerprints from the break-in, and it was Justin West, Robert Webb, who admitted to trashing his home as he had not taken the arrest of his wife well. However, he said he was not responsible for killing Cartwright, and the team were back to square one. This was until Karen found Neville's ex-colleague Andrew Buckley, Kent Riley, was under investigation as evidence had come to light of corruption taking place. He had been receiving payment for inside information on a case, and his crime had come back to bite him. He had came to St. Marie to confess to Neville and held his hands up to corruption, but he denied the murder. This meant Neville was formally charged with murder, and his team watched in tears as he was taken away in cuffs. However, in prison, Neville had a revelation when it became apparent the key to Cartwright's room was at the police station. He realized it must have been someone he knew, and his heart sank when he and the team figured out it was his girlfriend Sophie Chambers, Chelsea Edge. Cartwright's neighbor had seen a woman at his room who matched Sophie's description, and Neville confronted her. He had figured out she was not Sophie after all, but was in fact Becca Wanslow, the older sister of Grace Wanslow. Grace had been charged for a crime in Manchester and had taken her own life in prison. Becca had planned to bump into Neville from day one so she could avenge her sister's death. It was Becca who was supposed to be carrying drugs the night Grace was caught, but as Becca was ill, she allowed her younger sister to go in her place. She was arrested, and Neville was heartbroken, confused, hurt, and he felt like he had let everyone down. He didn't see what was right in front of him and said he could have stopped it all if he had. In the preview for the season finale, Neville is seen drowning his sorrows at a bar. He is heard saying, "A murder took place right under my nose and I didn't notice anything. What if my instincts let me down again on this case?" He later tells Selwyn Patterson, Don Warrington, "I think it's maybe time to call it a day." To which Selwyn says, "You want to leave St. Marie?" Although fans would be devastated at his exit, there are plenty of reasons why Neville would want to leave. He felt guilty and embarrassed for not realizing earlier that Sophie was playing him all along. He may also want to escape the island as it acts as a constant reminder of what he fell for. This shocking revelation would have been a huge knock to his confidence. So is some time out what he will choose in the end? Will it be a temporary exit, or has he gone for good? Death in Paradise returns to BBC One on Friday at 9 p.m.